So essentially, COTI V2 is our new chain, our new network. It's a few things. It's EVM based, but can connect to 70 other major blockchains. It has a very high throughput as it's a layer two with a sequencer, so scalability is easy, and the fees are very low. So it's the standard today, right? But I think the most interesting thing that makes us unique right now is that we have built an encrypted blockchain, essentially a network that allows you to do something called selective disclosure, meaning you can keep your privacy, and a business building on top of our blockchain can keep as much privacy as he needs for his transactions. Privacy is not just important. I think it's basically sits in the same order of importance as scalability. So, like, you would never ask why scalability is important because people understand that for a for a good user experience, you want things to be scalable. But it is understood now that for a good user experience, privacy is also critical. And it is critical because no major business, no major corporation will ever build something on blockchain if the blockchain cannot keep a secret. If sensitive commercial data is laid there on a public blockchain, it is unusable for most. Also for retail users, your financial data, your personal data, your health data, all of that, if you put it on blockchain, becomes publicly available. Nobody caters for this user experience. So for blockchain to really grow and become massively adopted, scalability and privacy, which is synonym to security, needs to be solved. I think scalability is solved. And the next big endeavor for crypto right now is privacy, security, data protection, all of the things that are protected by law and that people expect from a blockchain. Privacy is a very problematic word because it means different things to different people. And transparency seems like, very it seems like it has a connotation to justice and but everything is right to a certain degree in a certain context. So if you are taking a shower, you expect privacy and you don't expect transparency. It doesn't seem like a very good idea. Or what your doctor tells you, you don't expect this to be transparent and publicly available. And this is why this sort of privacy is protected by law. GDPR, HIPAA, all of it, it's protected by law. It is understood that it's both commercially important, but also it's part of our human right for freedom and to protect what we don't want to be publicly available. Now, the contradiction comes when you're thinking about other regulations like anti-money laundering, anti-terror financing, and a lot of that, which is also important. And the problem with tokens that were banned or outlawed, like Monero and Zcash, is the fact that they are what is called anonymity tokens. Like the token itself is private and not the transactions. To some, I'm simplifying it a bit, but regulators does not allow for a transaction to happen between a financial transaction to happen between anonymous parties, because then money laundering can happen. And then we have things like we recognize as KYC, meaning know your client, right? This is not what we do. With data protection, it means that, the two addresses that actually transact still remain on chain like they would today. But the content of a transaction, what I've sent you and how much I own, that is protected. So unlike anonymity where you can't decipher anything from the blockchain, what we protect is actually the transactions, like the token that I've sent you and how much did I send you and how much do you have in your wallet and how much do I have in my wallet, which seems reasonable to protect. And this is actually not against the law, it's with the law. Yeah, so Central Bank of Israel is working on a CBDC project. A lot of companies have applied to take part, and we were selected with a small cohort that also had Fireblocks, PayPal in it, but we are the only blockchain network there. And the one of the most interesting thing is that they speak about like half the time they speak about the project, the central bank, and the other half they speak about privacy, which is granted because again, if a government is doing something, by definition, it will do it by law, and by law, they need to protect the privacy of users. Now, it's not just a good idea, and the law, when they speak about this, they immediately say, we do not want this to become a dystopian privacy breach where everybody's transactions are widely available. So it is actually clear by regulators and creators. So the first project was actually the first level was actually everybody applying. A few were selected. Then we all participated in like this ongoing hackathon where we pitched in a few projects. And we now continue to work on a few other angles, including privacy. I will also add that this is not the only central bank we're speaking with about this. And this is actually part of an even bigger project that hopefully we can unveil in Dubai Token 2049 in the end of the month, which involves the development of blockchain and AI initiatives in Africa, not just Africa, but that will be unveiled later on. And it has, key figures from nations in Africa, VCs from the Middle East and the greater Middle East and Africa as well, and like very like high level figures. And COTI provides both guidance, steering, and the infrastructure for that. So this is actually just ground zero for something pretty big that we expect to grow in the coming years.